As you know, I was born at a very young age, and I've been playing this game for 30 years on and off. I'm going to share with you everything I've learned in the next 20 minutes. The first thing I learned was that playing with low handicap senior golfers is the quickest way to become a good golfer. These guys have accepted their game the way it is. They play what they can, they stay within their wheelhouse, and they shoot low. So on a par 3 from 130 yards, some old dude might come around here with a 7 wood, and he might just bunt one down there, understanding he's not going to hold the green and probably roll over, accepting he's going to have a chipperoo. And that's exactly what we do. I learned that golf is a non-stop problem-solving equation. From the tee we solve one problem, the next shot we have to solve that problem, creating any myriad of next problems. Then we have to solve that problem, and it's 18 holes of problem solving. If we get upset about having to solve problems, then we may not like golf that much. But I found that if I can embrace the problem-solving equation and see that everything is an opportunity to impose my solution on it, makes the game very, very fun. Okay, little 6-iron bump and runner. That's all from the old guys. 6-iron bump and runner. I learned in golf that the game inside 100 yards, and especially on the greens where you can quickly shave strokes, quick, and get your handicap, get your score down. Of course, you're going to extend to the drive and to the iron shots, but that game around the green will hold you in good stead. And that's the thing that's going to make people go from like a ceiling or their best score of a 10 handicap all the way down to very low handicap. It's purely the short game. Very, very simply, baseline golf is that it's hitting a stress-free shot from this location to another stress-free shot location. That's all golf really is. The number of stress-free shots you have in your arsenal grows as you practice and play more. In the beginning, you might have 3 or 4 stress-free shots, and that's all that we can play to. As we get better, we increase that arsenal, and I found when I looked at it like that, it's such an easy game. What can I do from here stress-free to get to my next stress-free shot? And a 7 wood here, straight up the chute to a beautiful wedge or 9-iron into the green is absolutely money. A stressful shot would be trying to go at the green on the left there, over all the water, toward a big fat-ass bunker. No point. And you swing so nice and smooth on a stress-free shot. Paying for professional help is a cheat code game changer. It took me 25 years of playing this game to actually go get my first real lesson. And that's where I learned that I didn't know anything about the golf swing. It's a game changer. It's a cheat code to just go get some lessons on the fundamentals of every part of the game. Putting, chipping, pitching, bunkers, and long shots, the full swing. This is gonna do more good for you than anything else. Going 20 years, 15 years, 10 years trying to figure out yourself. Absolute waste of time. What I've learned by helping people on the golf course, as well as getting coaching from other people myself, is trust. Trust is the number one thing. As soon as you trust somebody, you can learn from them. If you do not trust them, you're either going to try prove them wrong or go out and do the wrong things, like unconsciously, to prove them wrong. And that's a very toxic thing. So if you're looking for coaching, as soon as you feel the trust, you can even sometimes feel it within a minute or two. If you trust this person, you're going to learn really well. If you don't trust the person, you're not going to learn. You're going to reject the ideas. You're going to get in that toxic cycle of trying to prove them wrong. And actually it just spites you. You know, you spite your face by cutting off your nose. Listen, we're gonna just no tip today. Absolutely foundational thing I learned about golf, just by playing the way I do with the mixture of drivers and irons off the tee, is that golf is a series of interconnected decisions and shots. So if I hit a driver off here, I have a very short wedge into the green. If I hit a 2-iron, I have maybe a wedge or 9-iron. If I hit the 4-iron, I have a 9 or 8-iron. If I hit a 6-iron, maybe I've got another 6-iron or a 5-iron into the green. And each one of those scenarios comes with its own consequences. So if I hit a long shot, I've got to be good at my wedges. If I hit a medium long shot, I've got to be pretty good at my low irons. If I hit a shorter shot, I've got to be good at my long irons or hybrids. And then, because of that, I need to be good at chipping and putting around the green, because we're not going to hit that many greens with our 5, 6, 4-iron or hybrid. If I get it to wedge range, I might have longer putts. So I have to be pretty good at those putts between 10 and 30 feet, because that's the consequence of that shot. So it's all interconnected, and you can get around the golf course in many different ways. Any dingleberry telling you there's only one way to play golf is an absolute dingleberry. Man, I hit that so bad. What I've learned in the last few years, especially with this channel, is that the ability to read the grass and the lie and the resulting shot, turf interaction with the club, and the way the ball will react when it lands. This is the big differentiator between good golf and great golf. If you can read a lie, how you're going to react to that lie and how your ball and the flight will react, wow. You really are already super advanced, because that's a difficult skill that you can only get through experience on the golf course and being conscious of what's happening. About 180 yards, it's on a slight downslope into the grain. So I'm going to make a choppy divot. My club might get stuck. I must be prepared for that. And because it's downhill, it'll want to squirt to the right, and it's going to come out super low. So 180, normally I'd hit a 7. I'm going to hit a 6er here, because I think that low flight may stay short in that front bunker with a 7. Start low, rise a little, let's go. And there we go, absolutely money, because I can read the freaking lie. And you see how chopped up my divot is? That's because it's into the grain. If it's down grain, I make a nice, beautiful divot. Now we're on the green, and the most important thing on the greens is distance control. And not for the reason that you just get it close to the hole, but this is what no one tells you. When you see a better speed because you practiced, your brain is a physics calculator. Once you have familiarity with the swinging of your arms, you have a familiarity with your surface and your hammer. That's why you shouldn't change your putter so often. You can then create a beautiful stroke for distance control. Your brain knows that and sees a better line. It sees the line better, because if you hit it too hard, you take too little break. You hit it too soft, you take too much break. When you hit a great speed, you get a better read. That's amazing. All I want to say is that they don't really care about us. Oh, we're just a little bit short, but look at that read. That's what I'm talking about. Come on. This is a very tepid milquetoast take, and that is that hitting the ball too hard is so stupid. Hitting the ball hard, I have found to be the dumbest thing in the world I can do. Striking the ball out the center of the face with an 80% effort, man, the ball goes way more under control and actually a little bit longer than 100%, or like I've seen in one article, hitting it at 110% or something like that. Now I have a fairway. I found that once I could get the ball airborne reliably, I needed to know my shot shape and the distance the ball goes. That way I could plan my shots. If I'm hitting a big slicer, I need to set my ball up to start well left of the target to move in. That way I can actually play any shot shape on any given day. If I'm a drawer of the ball, I have to know how far right to start the ball, make it come in. And then knowing the distance the ball goes, hey, now I can start planning where I'm going to leave the ball according to that shot shape. Those two things, shot shape and the distance the ball goes, wow, if we can plan for that, now we become truly great golfers. Paying a professional to teach you is way easier. Come on. What I learned over all these years is we have to take into account the slope. If the ball's above my feet, the ball's going to go right to left. If the ball's below my feet, it's going to go left to right. If the ball is like this on an upslope, it's going to go higher, propensity to turn right to left. If it's the opposite, on a downslope, it want to come out low and squirt left to right. That's part of the equation of analyzing your shot and picking the right club. So if I uphill chip here, normally I'll take a 56 degree because of the distance to carry onto the green and roll out. But because this slope is adding 4 degrees, my 52 becomes a 56 if I just swing it up the slope. Wow, absolutely beautiful. Players, one shot shape is all we need. We don't need to walk around trying to hook, trying to slice. Taking a stock shot, this is what the pros are so good at. They create a stock shot and try to use that stock shot in every single situation, or set up situations they can use their stock shots. Look at DJ when they ask him, how many draws have you hit this year? He says, intentionally, 0. And that's what they do. It's a single shot shape. Of course, if it's severe, you want to reduce it, but you can play it. I'm going to show you on this hole, hitting just little feathers, maybe a big slicer, that you can actually keep playing even with a slicer-rooney. So we've got a fairway over here. It gets nice and wide to the right. So we set this one up so it doesn't go in the water if it goes straight. So it's set up to the left a little. And now it's sliced into the fairway. Really bad strike, but I'll show you. We can make a 5 on this long par 4. A big thing I learned from my coach Eric Chong of Impact Golf Malaysia, coach and the Ultimate Club Fitter, is that you have your A, B, C and D game. Your A game you're having for 2 weeks at a time, 3 weeks at a time, maybe once or twice a year. You play out of your skin. You think, how can I play golf this good? Then you have your B game some of the time, but most of the time you're playing with your C game and your D game. And the only way to keep your score under control is to have a tee club you can keep in play, and that has to change. You know, if you're playing crap, you have to just take more loft off the tee, keep it in play. And then the short game. The game inside wedge range is how you just keep that score down. When you're in your C and D game, you're not on form, then you have to keep your score down with the short game. Keep the putting, chipping, pitching, and wedges strong. When you get your B and A game, enjoy it and understand. This is what I've learned, is that I have to understand that it's going to disappear. So I must really enjoy it. And when it disappears again into the B, C, and D game, I mustn't want to quit golf. I have to wait for that wave of B and A game to come back. Look at that. We don't even have to hit nice shots. Little shuri up there like, what? Oh, now I'm upset. No, I'm not upset. Closer to the hole, to a stress-free position. Here's something I've learned as a young person who used to look at people my age, and they'd say, oh, you've got to be careful what you eat because you're going to put on weight, because your metabolism slows down and you get all... Look, man, you're not going to burn off that sausage. You're not going to burn off the extra hot dog, beer, or hamburger you have because you're playing golf. You're on a cart, you're probably burning a few less 1,000 calories than you think. And then, it's not that our metabolism just slowed down, it's that we eat too much junk. I have now ballooned from 74 kilograms up to 84. That's 10 kilos, 22 pounds. I got to lose it all. But by actually weighing my food recently and understanding how much I'm eating, it's not that I just slowed down my metabolism or I got old. I just ate too much and I didn't realize how many calories I was eating. So, what I have learned, just because I'm playing golf doesn't allow me to just smash more calories because I think I'm going to burn them off. Because then I'll smash more after the round and that golf round will be negated, plus I'll have excess. No, no, no. Okay, 90 yards, and now if you hit a low ball, maybe you don't have a nice high floating 56 degree, we don't go at the pin, we go left of the pin because the pin is cut next to the bunker. So why bring danger into play, you know what I'm saying? Now we go well left, get it on the green, slice drive, miss hit. Shuri shot up here, pitch shot with a very high, low lofted club from only 90 yards. Anyone can do it. Wow, man, it looks quick. It looks quick, but it's slow. Okay, another thing I've learned, guys, for you quickly. You can feel the slope in your feet and your body and up into your hips here. You can feel that's like a 1.5% slope. It's a 6-foot putt. 1.5%, 6 foot is about just 3/4 of a cup outside the left. Easy game, money lover, birdie shaker. You know what I've learned? I learned that if you want a new driver every year, every 6 months, you should do it. There's nothing wrong with it. If it makes you feel good and you get the ball in play for that limited period, I used to do it. I used to play scratch golf with a new driver every 6 months. If it helps you get the ball in play and it stays in play, use it until it stops. Absolutely loving my Red Tiger rangefinders. These are absolutely money budget rangefinders and actually a Bushnell killer. I can see that pin 257 yards real easy. Try that on a Bushnell, ain't happening. So 257. Before we get into that, let me actually tell you what I learned about rotation. Rotation in golf is a mystery because people are talking about spinning out, they're talking about, oh, I'm not rotating, and then your friends give you advice and they don't know what the hell they're talking about. Rotation is not doing that. Rotation is not like this. it's levers. So this lever goes back and this lever goes forward and back. But it's not in one place. You can't just do this. That is spinning. It's rotation back, a little slide to the left, and that lever. And that's how rotation works. This is what I've learned on par 5s. 257, if I can get inside 30 yards, I have to go for it, because inside 30 yards we have great chances of great shots. 30 to 90 yards is a no-go zone. For most of us, partial wedge shots, just not going to be a great result. So if I have no danger up there and I'm not going to get in water or OB, I got to get close to 30 yards. So 257, can I hit it 230 yards? Can I into the breeze on a cloudy day? Maybe not, because the clouds and the cooler weather reduces the distance a bit. So I'm going to lay this one up to my free throw distance, which I also learned about from a book called Radical Golf. A free throw distance is the distance you're automatic from, like a basketballer throwing it in the hoop. Or I don't know why, pointless sport, but you know what? They can do it from one spot, boom, boom. They love a certain spot on the court. So from 257, I want to hit this 165 yards, leaving me a beautiful sandy wedge, one of my free throw distances from about 100 after stress-free shot. Money! Perfect, right at the 100-yard marker. Beautiful. You know, one of the stinkiest winky things that I learned is that hitting the ball longer distance doesn't lower the score. It only lowers the score when that longer distance is under control. And I mean under control, staying in play. If you added, let's say, 30 or 40 yards to your shot off the tee with that radar that we hit it, man, you're going just 40 yards deeper into the shizer. Adding distance should only come from hitting a better strike. The better strike, I've learned, is what gives you the extra distance. A better strike under better conditions at impact create the better ball flight, straighter ball flight, longer shot. Hitting it harder with more shot shape, further out of bounds or further into the water, doesn't help us at all. So the chase for distance is for jabronis. What we really want to do is chase the strike. Once we get that strike right, we can add distance by swinging more confidentiality and hitting it harder with actually less effort, because we realize once we hit the middle of that club, bam, we're getting more distance. So you want to be careful about people who are telling you distance is king. No, distance under extreme control. What I've learned is that a difference between a 10 handicap and a scratch golfer is that game with the wedges in hand and inside 100 yards. The chipping, the putting, the hitting the greens with your wedges, and then making putts. This is the big difference. You know, most guys from 10 handicap down hit the ball pretty damn good, keep the ball in play, but a lot of shots are wasted from inside wedge range. And that's what I've learned is absolutely vital. Get it like inside 20 feet, make a putt, but never 3-putt. Get it around the green, chip and putt. 50% up and down rate. Come on. YouTube has given us access to a lot of the top pros. Like Brixton DeChambeau has his own channel where he tells you how he swings. You might see Rory McIlroy or Calvin Morikawa telling you how they swing, how they hit the ball, what they do. This is some of the worst stuff you can listen to, because these guys are top 0.0001% of all golfers that are giving you these tips on how to swing and how they play and think of shots. There's very little value for you. Trying to learn from a savant genius like a McAvoy or a Brixton DeChambeau, it's almost impossible. While it's nice to listen to, thinking that that stuff applies to us is one of the biggest things I learned. Nothing the pros talk about, unless they're talking about mid-handicappers, applies to us, because they are talking about things in a way that we don't even understand. It's like asking Mozart, yo dude, can you analyze this song by Justin Bieber? Come on, really. That could go in. Go in, go in. Freaky, man. It's supposed to be quicker than this, girlfriend. This is another thing I learned. Caddy, wait now. You're distracting my freaking eye here, man. If you're going to walk through my shot, okay, I'm a professional. You've got to act professional, okay? If you're not professional, we might have to end this professional relationship, okay? I learned something very, very important. It's the impact position with my coach. I thought impact position was address position. I really just thought this is what impact looks like. But then the pro showed me there's one generic impact position, and this is when you see an ugly swing and they hit the ball so nicely, it's because they're doing one thing. They're getting into, from address to impact, they're getting into a great position. Instead of just like me, who was trying to get stuck here because I thought this is impact position, they're getting to the right position. They're clearing this left hip out the way, and that's what they're trying to achieve. Impact, address, impact. Now, if we can achieve that, we're going to do good things. Beautiful golf swings don't equal beautiful scores. It's all about scoring. It's all about getting the ball in the right position. So that's why when you see an ugly swing, don't doubt the handicap, because it doesn't matter. They're getting the ball where they want to, and I just ground and pound that last one like a coffee date. Oh, I just did it again. Boom, boom. Ground and pound. It's very rare that I replicate a shot that I don't record. So luckily we did it this time. Normally I just have to take an inferior shot. So what I learned is to get from a double-digit handicap into single digits is to understand ourselves more, where we're going wrong. Not generic stuff from Palookas, but about us. Once you learn more about yourself, wow, then we can start doing things that are moving in the right direction instead of staying in one place, spinning our wheels with nonsense. Understanding the context of what people are talking about. So if you see a break 80 video but you can't break 100, understand the context of where you are now in your golf journey, and it will get better. Okay, 175 yards, hitting the 8-iron. And that's what I mean. You may not hit an 8-iron from 175. You may not hit a par 5 in 2. And that's okay. That's part of your journey at the moment. What the hell? I pulled it. I pulled that thing real bad. Well, you got a chip. That's one of the worst 8-irons of my life. I learned that par is the expectation of an expert golfer. So when you have a par 5, that's what an expert golfer should score. So in general, bogey is a very good score for general golfers. In fact, back in the day, they used to have 2 pars. They used to have like a professional par and then a bogey par. And that would be a scorecard of maybe a par is 82, 83, 79, because it's more in line with amateur golfers. You can make your own par at any moment. You can just change the par of the hole. If it's a stroke 1 index up to stroke 9, hey, just make it 1 more stroke. So if it's a par 5, make it a par 6. Par 3, make it a par 4. This is very eye-opening and really got me to release pressure on myself of trying to play pro golf when I was still like a 12 handicapper. Well, I'm still getting used to the new chipping technique I worked on. Well, real chipping technique, but we'll take that. Also learned a lot about putting. Check out my putting videos. They're really, really good. Might change your life. Wow, 1 ball. Why did I go like 7 cups? That was atrocious. But you know what? The pace control is always delectable. At the end of this round, what I've learned is golf is supposed to be fun because it's a hobby. We're not supposed to be brilliant at it like a pro, otherwise we'd be getting paid. We're supposed to suck a little bit. That sucking creates the problems that we have to solve. And people will just say, well, golf's supposed to be fun. Don't overthink it, man. Just have fun, dude. And what most people think is that that means go and eat 10 donuts or vomit cookies and cream after 6 holes into the bushes or whatever it is. But there's techniques of actually thinking your way around a golf course, being in control of your emotions and your decisions, that actually creates the most fun for us taxpayers. When you're a taxpayer, a booty shaker, money maker, and a player and a gangbanger, when you're not a jabroni and you're not a dingleberry, you find ways of getting joy out of something that are a little bit deeper than just debauchery. And that's what I like about golf. I get so much joy out of just solving the equations or getting the ball from one place to the next, under control of my decisions, using my process, and being a boss. That is absolutely money. And having the ability to hit a 4-iron as we come to a close, the game inside wedge range is the key. You're going to duff shots. You're going to hit great shots. You're going to hit shots to places you need partial wedges. You're going to hit terrible shots, chunking it just in front of you. But you're going to have that wedge game strong, because that's where the ball's going to end up. That's where you're going to just save the shots. When you stop duffing it, you're going to hit it longer. You're going to get it to wedge range as a IDGAF professional, IDGAF professional as I am. And that means that the wedges come into play even more. They're always in the game, it's always important. And then putting. Come on. Let's go. 103 yards, 56 degree. Those are all the things I've learned playing golf over 20 years. Check out all my videos. It's everything I'm learning along the way, everything I have learned. You can be better than me. I believe in you. Check out this video over here to see even more details about how to be a big boss.